The collapse of the Berlin Wall. Intel releases the 486 series of microprocessors. Rain Man wins the Oscar for Best Picture. And the Nissan GTP and Audi GTO were the cars to beat on the track. Come with us now to the end of the 80s as iRacing's Kamel GT Series visits Twin Rings Motegi for round 7 of 12 on the 2018 Season 1 schedule. And all the nostalgia multi-class sports car racing action from Green Flag to Victory Donuts can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Konnichiwa, everyone, and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green, filling in for Joe Peak to bring you our Word's Eye view, and reusing the same voiceover opening from the last time I did so is yours truly, Bill Soups On, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras, located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace streams into your place, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the 40 minutes of multi-class sports car racing that will immediately follow. Now, to prepare for this race, I decided to walk the aisles of my local supermarket because that is my favorite way to get the feel for how this track is laid out. Luckily, I've got Sean Ambrose sitting next to me to give all of us a more accurate and less nonsensical track information. Crackers?
You know, Soup, being here reminds me of being a kid. You know, in Motegi, Japan, I feel like I'm home on a Saturday morning watching a classic movie, probably in black and white, with Godzilla on the horizon, getting ready to attack. You know, this twin ring gets its name for the facility having two racetracks, Soup, a 1.5-mile oval, a very tricky oval at that, egg-shaped, and a 4.8-kilometer, 14-turn road course where we'll be today, built in 1997 by Honda. It's part of the company's effort to bring the IndyCar series to Japan. Now, in the real world, Danica Patrick earned her only major racing series win here, finding success on that oval. The best way to get an idea of what this place is like is to jump on board the GSRC BMW today, because I'm going to admit it now, we had trouble getting the Nissan and the Audi through customs, but they had a BMW that we could slap our skin on and take a ride around Motegi.
All right, we've got Kevin Brown in the GSRC BMW, so let's do a lap around Motegi. Coming down to turn 1, we'll turn a full 180 degrees around a double apexer. But because the curve is so gentle, it's kind of a medium speed corner. Pass attempts will need you to be well up the inside if you don't want your nose chopped off. If anything, it's a lot more important to square off the exit right so that you get a good launch down this next stretch. See, turn 3 is a bit sharper, so it's a slightly better opportunity to execute an overtake. Now, even by yourself, 4 will be tricky. Just a little lift and then try your best to carry as much speed as you can onto the third long straightaway in a row. You're certainly not shy of chances to make a pass happen because turn 5 is sharper yet again. With the track switching direction, it's easy to hold left to defend, but just be wary not to outbrake yourself. Your opponent could pull an over-under and take you on the exit. 6 is a flat-out gentle bend that will lead into the 7 and 8 complex. These are two of the trickiest bends on the track. This is a medium-speed S-curve that looks simple enough, but lures you into getting onto the power too quickly with its longer second half. And if you find yourself being hounded, that's a very bad move to make. Turn 9 is a sharp left-hander that, despite the short run, is prone to surprise passes. But it's a decreasing radius, so it has its own set of challenges without fending off your opponent. Should you find yourself taken down a notch, the good news is that turn 10 can provide easy redemption. It's a long, slow horseshoe hairpin with a good...
About a decade before these Audis and Nissans were dominating, Carly sang and sang "Nobody Does It Better," and she could have been singing about Joe Peak talking us around the racetrack. This time, the supermarket configuration that is Motegi. And now let's take a lap around the point standings. Keep in mind that these points are based on the official iRacing points. They're the driver's performance not just during the broadcast races, but on every official iRacing event during the week for each round over the 12-round schedule. These results take into account the 2 of 4 possible drop weeks with drivers' highest drop week points shown on the graphic next to a single droplet. Look who you got there. It's the Finn, Antti Lepisto, up in front, but only by 2 points over Keith Ritchie from the USA. Notice though those drop races there. If a disaster were to strike and Lepisto and Ritchie were to score no points, 58 is what Ritchie would get compared to 154 for Lepisto. 158 for Ritchie, I apologize. Left off the 100 there. Jamie Hall all by himself in third, but then there's a nice battle going on for fourth between Arto Iamaki and Rob Olenek. Let's go ahead and look at the GTO standings. And you can see on that graphic that it's Avila Ruolo, and has 158 points. He's got a 60 marker lead over the 4 Americans follow him. Michael Howden, Ben Laughter, Jacob Hohnkamp, and Brian Shanahan. So again, this series, Sean, made up with a lot of Finns and USA drivers.
All right, now let's look at these team standings right now. And in the GTPs, we've got the All-American Racers on top. Ritchie, Olenek on that team. And then the Busby Miller High Life team, Lepisto and Iamaki there in second. Bayside Motorsports in third currently. Hall and Lake. Mucanos and Hill on that fourth place team. And Nissan Motorsport there. McLeod and Pasillas there in fifth. Let's look at the GTO standings real quickly. The Justin Berry team, Valvoline, Ruola, and Shanahan there in first. Mind Trick Motorsports, Ben Laughter, Hohnkamp in second. And Mind Trick Motorsports Windows, the Commodore team in second. The Windows team in third, Houghton and Quinn. And then Lightsticker Racing down there in fourth. A long way to get into this championship in Trent Grade and Thompson on that team, Sue.
Before we look at the race details, why don't we check in and see what's going on in qualifying right now? Pretty good size field today, Sean.
We do have a good size field. There was no split today, so they're all here. 26 drivers. Right now looking at 12 Audi GTOs, 14 Nissans in this field. So a nice balance and a tough track to get around, Soup.
No surprise to see who's sitting at the top of each of the classes. There's Keith Ritchie, who tops the chart in the Nissans.
Yeah, Keith with a great run, a 137.4, 4/10 faster than Jamie Hall. Keith still working on his second lap. Not many cars left here in qualifying. Ritchie, John Keefe, the only Nissan still out there, and Keith just goes across, wraps up his second lap, no better than 11th for his qualifying.
Let's check in on the driver who's second in the GTOs. That would be Ove Turngrave. We haven't seen much from him lately. Good to see him out here. Put in a good qualifying time. Of course, Yanni Hogner sitting at the top of the charts. Is Yanni out there on the track right now? Nope, I think he's got that in.
Yeah, he does. Yanni with a great qualifying effort in his Nissan, a 148.1, a full 6/10 faster than Ove Turngrave, who is going to round out that second row. Or first row, I'm sorry.
Okay, qualifying is done. We'll get to the race details here in a minute. Let's go ahead and we can run down the qualifying order for you. Sean, I'll take the Nissans, and on the front row, it's Keith Ritchie and Jamie Hall, Antti Lepisto and Arto Iamaki behind him. Row 3 is going to be made up of Nicholas Schneider and Philip in and around the lake. Fabian Lungbluth and Martin Krejcik sits in the 8th position. 9th and 10th goes to Lewis Emerton and Martius Barbera. Go down here to row number 6. It's John Keith and John Hill and Jeffrey Oakley and Larry Krupp. Sean, what do you got in the GT?
Okay, folks, I'm going to get fast here. The Audis: Yoni Hagner, Ove Turngrave, Vele Riola, Ben Laughter, Giuseppe Muia, Franco Scurri, Elliot Meme, Mika Kivpuro, Hideki Quevizzo, Tom Dibden, Bronislav Romanek, and Ralph Cummins round out your 12-car Audi GTO field. Here we go, Soup.
We're going 40 minutes today. There'll be no pit stops. These are open setups for these cars. It's round number 7 of 12. What's our weather like? Can we take a peek at that, Sean?
Soup, it's a beautiful day out here. It's mostly cloudy, but it's 70 degrees and only 80 degrees on track. It was a blistering 109 degrees on track in the practice session leading up to this. So a lot different situation we're dealing with here to get this race started.
Pace car begins to roll. We do not have a full pace lap. We'll just go through 11, 12, then victory corner. And we'll come down what I like to call the canned food aisle. Head towards the start-finish line and get this race underway. They go beneath the overpass. Luckily, we're racing under the Japanese sun, because when we race at night, this track can be dark and full of terrors, but not today. The pace car peels in. That turns the start over to our pole sitter. And we wait for him, and he jumps on it. Keith Ritchie gets the jumps, and the race is on the way. Gather at the chicken stand, cover behind the cows. Keith Ritchie leaves the stampede of cars down into the first corner. A tight battle for second. On the outside is Hall and Lepisto. Sean, what's going on in the GTO?
Boy, Yoni Hagner gets off to a quick start, and 3 wide just behind him. You got Laughter, Ove, Trigger, Viola, all fighting for that same piece of space, all the way down to turn 3. Wow, Hagner's gotten out to a huge break, but the battle behind him is intense. They're still 2 wide coming through turn 4.
Everybody clean in the GTOs. Nothing going on in the GTPs. They race pretty much single file right now. Look at those Audis coming at you, led by Yoni Hagner. Laughter in second. Ove Trengere, the Norwegian driver, drops into third. They go beneath the overpass. Pia Ruolo and Elliot Mimi round out your top 5. Mimi being chased there, making a little peek in there is Muera.
Ben Laughter with an incredible start to this race, picking up 2 spots all over Yoni Hagner.
There's Ben Laughter right now sitting in second, already picking up those 2. Let's check in on the prototypes. Where cooking with hot fish grease is Keith Ritchie. He's opened up almost a 2-second gap between him and Jamie Hall. Jamie Hall comfortably in second position. A little tighter when we look at third. Antti Lepisto being hounded by Nicholas Schneider. Nika Schneider back there leading away. Also, Arto Irimaki in the mix as well. In 6th position, Phil Lake still trying to get in there. But up front, it is Keith Ritchie. What he's done most of the season, he's the guy to beat.
He generally is, Soup, and if you have a chance to drive behind the guy, he just really has a feel for this car and these tracks. No surprise to see him already starting to open it up just a bit.
Sean, I think the drivers knew that I was coming in to sit in for Joe Peakham. They've given me a real clean race to call. For a series with a reputation of being a bit aggressive, these guys are well behaved.
Tell you what, Ove Trendgrade not going to be well behaved for long following Ben Laughter here. He's taken a couple of looks at Ben and given good chase here so far. But it is early days in this race, not looking to do anything too aggressive yet. Just staying in his tracks here.
We can stay on this one for a little bit because Ove, it looks like he is anxious to make this move. They go through 130R, that's corner 6. Now down to the winding S curve. Hard to make any passes here. In fact, you're not going to get really any passing opportunities. Even down into the hairpin 10, not really a great passing opportunity. Let's stay with the Norwegian driver, see if he makes a move on the U.S. They work through the V corner. Now on the throttle down into the hairpin. But let's see now. This is where he can do it. If that light blue car, that teal colored car, can get a good drive off of there, and he does. Let's see if he can make the pass. Doesn't get a great exit out of 10, though. Oh, Sean, I don't think he has the run. In fact, he drops back. And a pass has been made. Oh, Phil Lake has had an issue. We'll see what that was. What happened to Lake there?
We got a replay coming here. I'm not sure what happened either. We'll have to
Oh, I think he's blown an engine. Look at that.
Yep. Third time, I believe, this season we have seen a blown engine suit. Oof. Well, so much for Phil in and around the lake. Having to take that back to the pit. Going to be a tough points day for him. First one out.
We look at our leader now. We drop back a little bit to Jamie Hall. Hall has fallen 2.5 seconds behind Richie. Comfortable gap, though, between him and Lapisto. The best battle on the track. We can go back to 5th.
Actually, Soup, and the GTOs, you got Laughter, Trengrade side by side here. Oh, boy.
Now they go in. This is tough to go side by side through this section. Trengrade with the preferred position. He gets it through corner number 7. A little bit maybe of Laughter saying hello there. And now getting into the mix is Villarruola.
Oh, Laughter going to take it back. Dives down to the inside, sends it in there.
Trengrade tried maybe to do a little up and under, but was worried that he was going to chop the nose off of the guy chasing him. Now he dives it deep down into the hairpin. Watch as he can carry the momentum around the number 12 car on the outside. Should have it. It's a drag race down the back straight.
We've got a blue light special at the front of the store, Soup.
Woo! It's
right. It's taking the position. Ove Trengrade up to second.
Down into corner 90. Into the 90 corner, and he gets it. Ove Trengrade up into second in class now. Laughter and Ruola right behind him. And look who else has got in the mix. Here comes Mimi and Muia coming in.
Yeah.
Definitely trying to get in the hunt.
I'll tell you what, man, those guys all of a sudden came out of nowhere, and they have stacked this field up here all the way 6 back. Muia's fellow countryman, Frank Goscardi, right behind him. And Muia looking all over the wing there of Elliot Mimi.
Yeah, with apologies to the Laughter fan club, I think the cork in the bottle may have been Ben, because now that Trengrade has got around him, looks like he's distancing himself, and Laughter's going to be forced to deal with the 3 guys who are coming up behind him. Good racing going on in the GTOs.
And all the way up there in front for the GTOs, Yoni Hagner remains as cool as the other side of the pillow, Soup.
Now, this is the best battle in the prototypes. This is Kritrick in a battle here with John Keefe. Also looking in there is Matthias Barbera. This is a battle for 7th position. Martin being pressured. Here comes Keefe. Sean, what about the draft in these Nissans? Is it they're so low slung, but I guess they must punch some kind of hole, huh?
They do. So it's but not as big as you would think. Yeah, they punch enough of a hole to draft a little bit, but you've got to be within somewhere about 6 to 0.4 of a second of them to really make it work.
This battle continues as they work through 3 and 4. Now down the serial aisle, heading into 5. This is one of my favorite passing zones down here. If you can get a good run off of 4, I like to do the pass at 5 whenever I have the opportunity to pass, which is rare and far between. These guys are well behind the leaders. 13 seconds behind Richie right now.
It's amazing how much time Richie can how quickly he can get away from the field. Soup, we still have 32 minutes left. Traffic won't be an issue for a little bit here, but they will find traffic indeed. This is a long race today.
One of the problems with traffic I've found is with these so many right corners followed by left corners, followed by right corners again. Yeah, you have the long straights, but eventually the Audis will have to work their way. The racing line crosses the track from the left to the right and back to the right to the left. You have to be careful that you don't make that move across the track. Look at the battle going on right here.
Sorry, Kritrick trying to hold off John Keefe here, Soup. Look, Keefe thought about sending it there into the turn, and he backed off. Let Kritrick get through. He's still hounding him right here. Right up under the wing here. This is a good drafting opportunity right here, Soup.
Gonna poke his nose down there into corner number 1. Not gonna happen. But don't worry, because there's another straight that follows. But he has a bad exit. I'm talking about Keefe. That opens the door for Barbera maybe get in there. Not going to get that done in the light blue machine. You can see that car watching from the very back. Fabian Youngbruth in 10th.
Boy, Barbera really starting to press just a little bit. A little slow there through the apex of the turn. That got him got him off pace with them again. Boy, but Keith really keeps sticking it in there, Soup. A little bit off, too wide on the grass right there.
We can stay focused on this battle a little bit longer as there's not all that great of battles going on anywhere else. We'll check back in and see what's going on with Laughter and Rolla in a minute. But right now, let's say on this one, boy, look at them dive in there. I like Babera. I think Babera is the guy who's hungry. These guys racing back in 7th position. I love the paint scheme of Martin's car. Makes my mouth water there. We're on the great shot here on this drone cam here with the Tic Tac machine. First of all, it's a pretty looking car, and it's just a great sponsor as well.
Keith starting to lose ground a little bit now. Keith falling into the arms here of Matthias Barbera.
All right. With that cooling off, let's go check in on these guys in the GTO. We'll go to 16th position. This is Laughter.
Yeah.
This is overall a battle for 3rd. Boy, Rolla coming right on him. Here comes the move. Is he going to duck it in there?
It is.
Now the momentum from the top side, but nevertheless, you can tell Rolla is faster. Laughter not being all that defensive, but just being fast enough that Veal can't get around him. Another good battle right behind between Mimi and Muia. Giuseppe Muia trying to make a move to get up. That would be into the top 5 in that class.
Yeah, Muia has actually really started well. Don't recall seeing him this season. Honestly, the name is new to me, or I'm just forgetting right now. But boy, he has been rock solid since this green flag dropped.
Yeah, really is a 4-car train right now. And again, once Trengere got around Laughter, Trengere is long gone. So Ben just racing, again, not defensively, but just fast enough that Rolla cannot find the way around. Yeah, Trengere now 4 seconds.
You know, I don't want to be Captain Obvious here, but I'm gonna be honest. In this Audi, the key to speed here is the braking zones, and if you get them just right, man, the car turns really, really well if you set it up just right.
Uh-oh, Mimi had an issue. Must have got a slowdown penalty or missed a shift. He was falling back. He just kind of gives this up. This felt like a missed shift. Let's see, Sean. Maybe you have a better idea.
Yeah, very well could have been. I mean, it's... I don't know what setup he's running with in his rig, but I mean...
just didn't go.
That's plausible.
Really, I'm not sure. Here we go. We're looking at... We'll go up to P2 in the prototypes.
Hall, Lapisto, Soup.
Yeah, Hall has no chance of staying with Richie, but here comes Anti-Lapisto, and coming along with him, Arto Iumaki.
Yeah, a good move by Hall to get around Lapisto there, take it back. Lapisto had gotten it, and we see the Audi getting out of the way there. That was Tony Didman. And more Audi traffic just up in front of them here. Jamie Hall leads the way. Keith Ritchie getting away, working his way through that already. They got a battle for position right up in front of him. It's Hideki.
Oh! He spins a Hall, gets it loose. He gathers it back up, having to get on the binders, and now he loses it. Was Anti-Lapisto. A great save from Hall, but Lapisto really had his hands full, and it cost him.
Yes. Sometimes racing happens. Iamaki up to P2. He is pulling up on a battle just in front of him between Koivisto and who's that? Mika Kivipuro.
Through the middle.
He shoots the gap.
Koivisto does a good job of getting to the right. Kivipuro gets a good job of getting to the left, and now getting stuck behind him, now getting crushed is Jamie Hall. Ooh. Hall tries, he might. There's no way to go when the cars are too wide in front of him. Heading down into 5. He makes it through. Next one to try to do it is Lapisto. Lepisto gets 1 and he gets 2.
Boy, just in time, too. Good timing there.
And we talked about the battle with Laughter and Ruola and that kind of stuff. I think traffic may play a factor. If we go up to the battle for third right now, we're looking there at Schneider. When these prototypes get there, Ben, Laughter, and Ruola, I think when the prototypes come around, when those Nissans come around, that's when things are going to get interesting. And the first one to get there is going to be Keith Ritchie, as Ritchie makes his way around Giuseppe Mual right now. Now, once he's got around Muia, now he comes up. Here we go. This is Ruola and Laughter. Now, we've talked to Ritchie in post-race interviews. He knows that he has a 5.5-second lead. He can wait for the proper time to do it. He does it there. Oh, my goodness. Sweet Sassy Molassie. I think Ruola was actually going to try to make a pass on Laughter, decided better of it.
Yeah, and it almost seems like he caught Ritchie a little late over his shoulder there, and then does not put it out there, thankfully. He's going to get another chance here, though.
So Ritchie has got most of the GTOs. He just has Trengerade and Hogner to take care of. They'll be one at a time. I think what's really going to be interesting is when that gang from the... Oh, and here they come when Iamaki and these guys start coming. Let's stay on this a bit.
Here he is. Iamaki now just behind Billy Ruola and gets inside. Uh-oh. Contact. Kraytrick makes contact with an Audi in front of him. I believe that was Mika Kivipuro.
Yep. Got just into the back of him. John Keefe gets away clean. In fact, this might be fun to look. All 3 of the prototypes. Oh, John Keefe makes a great move. This involves all 3 prototypes. Krejcik, Barbera, the guys we were watching.
Yeah, Fabian Jungbluth.
Jungbluth, yeah.
And he was, you talk about innocent bystanders for Jungbluth. He just got caught in there. Last car to come through. Really did a lot of damage to the left front.
John Keefe took the car to the right, put it off on the grass, kept it pointed straight, got them all. Well, that was the group I thought was going to be interesting when they got to the GTO guys between Laughter and Ruola. Let's go there now. Getting through Anti-Lepisto, just got through Laughter. Ruola's still behind him.
Well,
now let's watch Nicholas Snyder's. He's going to work first through Muia. He gets Giuseppe. And now he's going to come up on this battle again, Ruola and Laughter. Laughter doing a great job, Sean. As hard as Ruola tries, he's fast enough, just can't seem to get him.
And Soup, the class leaders just met on track a moment ago. Yoni Hagner giving way to Keith Ritchie going by. The Toyota representatives in the field. Both Toyota-sponsored cars. Shared their moment on track, waved at each other, and Keith Ritchie went on about his business.
Iamaki in second, about just over 5 seconds to get to Ritchie. And I always like it. At least I know when Yoni Hagner has that comfortable lead, I always know that I can watch him do those final corners where he puts on a little show for us as he does a little drifting in that Audi.
Hey, and you know what? Don't look now, but Giuseppe Muia is starting to climb back up here a little bit. His last lap faster than Ruola by almost 0.5 of a second, Soup. And I'm wondering if Muia's got a little bit left in him to maybe get one more position before this race is over, or maybe 2. We'll see. But Soup, I mean, we have just over 21 minutes left. If Muia can hang in here, we may be talking about a podium spot for him.
That blue machine, the Gulf-colored car, that Nissan was Lewis Emerson. Emerton. He makes a good job, gets through those 2 guys. Laughter and Ruola again continue to race in the same order, looking for that final podium spot. You're right, though, Sean. Giuseppe back there behind these two guys is doing his best to hang in with them.
Yeah, he found a little bit of trouble before, but like I said, he's recovered well. He's dropped Franco Scurry a full almost 11 seconds back, and the rest of that Audi field outside the top 5 has really started to lose touch.
Well, I know we've been looking at it a lot, but let's watch John Keefe get through these 3 guys. John Keefe currently 7th in the Nissans. First driver up is Muia. He's going to have to do it around the outside, around the dirty part of the track. Gets that done.
Keefe putting in the work here, trying to stay relevant. Outside chance that maybe he could still get to Luis Emerton. Again, we just now hit 20 minutes to go here. So he certainly has time.
Caught him at a good place. Should have a run down this straight. Should be able to get both of these guys before they get into the 90 corner. He gets one, and he forces the issue down in there. Boy, look at this. Oh, those Nissans brake so well.
So well done by Keefe there to get through.
Let's run down your top 5 while we have this opportunity. I'll do the prototypes. Keith Ritchie out in front now by 6.2 seconds over Arto Iamaki. Iamaki with a 3-second gap back to Jamie Hall. Jamie Hall with a comfortable cushion of 1.6 seconds back to Antti Lepisto. And then rounding out your top 5, almost 6 seconds behind Lepisto, Nika Schneider. Sean?
All right, Sue. It's all about Joni Hagner right now, sitting almost 10 seconds ahead of his nearest competitor now, Ove Trendgrade. Joni got a great start to this race, and wow, it looks like he's ripped the mirror off, Soup. He's running. Ove back there in second. Ben Laughter in third, but not by much. Vili Ruola has something to say about it. He is still there, still stalking, and there in fifth, still climbing his way back into this thing. Giuseppe Muia, he was gaining there for a moment, but he has now started to lose him a full 12, just over 12 seconds behind Vili Ruola now. Right now, Giuseppe Muia needs to be careful to not let Franco Scurry by. Scurry is in sixth, only 3 seconds back.
You watch the number 18 car of Matias Barbera get through the battle of Laughter and Ruola. Good chance we can cover some of the back markers of the Nissans as they work through this one. The next one coming up is John Hill. John racing 10th in class, 10th overall as well.
Yeah, John hanging in there, not having a bad race. A little bit of damage on the car, but still hanging on to a top 10. Krytrick just behind him. The tic-tac is coming through. Obviously, we saw him have a little bit of trouble.
Right. Which makes it kind of interesting because you're not really sure how healthy some of these guys are. We saw Krytrick make contact.
Krytrick running it all the way out wide right there next to, as he was next to Vili Ruola there. Ruola's got to kind of get on the binders, and it affects his line just a bit. It's really broken up this battle a little bit here. Laughter with a chance to kind of pull away.
Krytrick can see the car of John Hill in front of him. He'd like to get inside the top 10. So with that settling down, let's see if we can run down a few of the, give a little love to some of the GTOs we haven't covered. How about a guy we see in the Lotus 49? How about a Diki Koivisto?
Yeah, Koivisto hanging in there. Just Larry Krupp just came through there on the inside. Koivisto hanging on here. He is up 3 spots. He had a so-so qualifying effort, but he has earned a couple of spots and now has himself in there in 7th place, letting Jeffrey Oakley by. Oakley catches him in a good spot. No harm, no foul. And you know, go ahead, Sue.
How about we drop down? The next GTO driver behind Koivisto would be, where are we looking at here? Is my timing and scoring what heavy?
Kivifuro.
Oh, Kivifuro, there we go.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mika, a new one as well. Have not recalled seeing him previously. And, Soup having a decent run. I mean, he is up to 8th, started 9th. Not a total loss for him.
Let's go back one more. How about Bronislav Robanek in the 22nd position overall? 9th in class. I like that color. Tell me that car is yellow, Sean. I know I have bad rods.
Soup. It is bright yellow, sir.
Oh,
it's glowing yellow. Yes, and another interesting thing about that car, Soup, it's clean. It's very clean.
I like it. Big blue 21 on there, no sponsors on it. That's the way.
Iamaki trying to get through, and he didn't catch him in the best spot. Robanek pulls off, lets him go. Oh boy, poor Robanek not having a whole lot of luck here. He keeps getting caught in the wrong spot. There goes Jamie Hall around.
Hall now in 3rd.
Okay.
Here we go.
Is this it?
Nope.
Oh.
Not only is it not it, he has a horrible accident. Talking about Ruola out of 10. All that hard work gone.
Boy, Ruola really missed out on an opportunity there. I thought he had him dead to rights. Now you begin to wonder, is Ruola going to be able to pull this off? I mean, boy, there's 14 minutes left, and we've been watching this for the past 15 at least, it seems, and Ruola's just not been able to pull off any kind of a pass here.
So Ruola going to really have to work now. He had a great line out of corner number 10, but then he kind of got boxed up, and again, I think he might have missed a shift. Car did not go. Well,
we've got some drivers in the chat talking about missed shifts. Obviously, we had the problem earlier with Phil Lake having trouble with his Nissan and missing a shift there that cost him a motor. So again, these retro vehicles, man, they're not easy to drive, Soup.
Again, Sean, let's go back and talk about how clean the racing is. We've seen one incident that caught up some of the Nissans. Other than that, pretty darn clean, especially for the reputation that this series has.
Yeah, well, Soup, it's a 3-mile track, 14 turns, and I'll tell you what, they have done a great job of keeping these cars on track today. In fact, the only casualty we've got right now are casualties are Philip Lake and Elliot Mimi, the only two, one from each class, and boy, that should tell you something right there.
And the 3 drivers that were involved in the Nissans all still out there racing.
Hagner getting caught right now, though. He's got some company. John Hill coming through and Martin Kreitschek right behind him.
Let's stay on that battle. That's the one we saw this before where Kreitschek that's been trying to run down some drivers, pick up positions. That's 10th. He's looking to get to John Hill. Other than the Laughter Ruolo battle, which has really cooled off a bit, this might be the closest one on the track. The tic-tac car of Kreitschek trying to get up into 10th.
Soup, the one driver we've overlooked, Ove Trengreid, sitting in 2nd in the Audis. You know what, Soup? He's good. He's real good. All he's got to do is just keep the car on track to the checkered flag. And he's sitting on the podium with a 2nd place finish. They can't catch him. And I don't think he can catch Joni Hagner, but what a drive by the Scandinavian today.
I know you don't have your notes in front of it. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you remember, did Ove show up in the Lotus 49s today?
He did, yes, sir. And I don't remember where he finished right now. I'm sorry.
Right.
That eludes me.
I don't want to know because there's a spoiler policy. I'll be watching that race as soon as my GSRC broadcast day is done. And we have a full Saturday here on GSRC. We
We
ride
certainly
on board
do.
with Ruola now. He is back up behind Laughter.
Yeah, he's reeled him in once again. And again, you know, again. You gotta find a way to get around him.
Much better to turn 10 that time than the last time we saw him. He still has 10 minutes to get this done. You think Ville realizes that once he makes the pass and he drives away, we won't be putting the camera on him as much? You think he's just sitting back there to get a little love from GSRC?
He wouldn't be the first driver who was listening to the broadcast and watching it while he was driving.
Well, they got Jeffrey Oakley to deal with. Oakley, the last Nissan running right now, so he can take as long as he wants to get around these guys. They head down into 3. Now, I think the best passing, though, let's see what kind of... Again, Ruola drops a little bit behind. If he can get a good run here through 3 and 4, and then make a shot down the frozen food aisle. Here he goes, down into 5, but he's too far back. And Oakley says, maybe I can go through now, guys, if you don't mind. I'll get 1, and I'll get in here. Uh-oh, he gets in there. That's going to really slow down. All right, it doesn't play a factor. I understand what Oakley was trying to do there. He didn't want to play favorites. If I'm going to get 1, maybe I can get both you guys. Oh, let's look at
John Hill, Martin Krytrick.
He's been coming.
Oh, and just as that's happening, Ruola gets up alongside Ben Laughter. Sorry, guys. Oh, crazy stuff going on track. And Ruola still trying to complete the pass, finds himself all the way to the outside. Oh, and he blows it. Oh, he's going to try and cross him over. No.
Oh, I think he's got to run on the outside. He has the momentum. Waiting in the back is the leader in the prototypes. But I know Richie. Richie will wait. They go past the slower car. That was Cummins gets out of the way. Oh, a little bit of a hello there from Ruola. Richie says, pardon me, boys. I'm going to come around the outside. I am the Chattanooga Choo-Choo, but he does not. He splits them.
Oh, Arto Iamaki with trouble. I'm trying to find it, Soup.
Our director has found him. We'll watch it with you. Oh, no, Sean. You know what happened.
Yep.
That says it right there.
The motor. He just totally tanked it. Oh, no. Listen along here, folks.
Go, and he pulls it over.
Wow. Just like that, his race is over. Second detonation we've seen today.
Sean, any clue? Do you think it's over revving? Have we heard anything from the drivers? What's causing it?
It's a misshift. It's clicking down through those gears a little too quick, Soup. And you miss it, man.
Well, that's going to let everybody move up one spot in the Nissans. Meanwhile, what's going on with the Laughter Ruola battle? Well, it remains Laughter Ruola.
It does. Jamie Hall coming through now. Boy, and Ruola missed out on a huge chance just a moment ago. And he's running out of him here, Soup. Under 7 minutes to go now.
So you can see the best battles on the track right next to each other. This is the battle of the Nissans between Laughter and Ruola. And then as Sean just said, Hall now has opened it up a little bit. Lepisto trying to get there.
Yeah, and not catching him. Is he going to beat him there into the corner? He does. Yeah, okay, so we're clear. Laughter and Ruola can get back to racing now here for just a minute.
Now they head down into 3. And again, I know we've been on this Audi battle a lot, but honestly, things are spread out on the track. Not a lot going on.
Hey, it's been a great battle, Soup, and it's not one that is looks like it's ending anytime soon. Hey, look for Ruola to make a last ditch effort on, maybe the final turn. Who knows? But Ruola's hopefully taken a lot of notes here as he's been following Laughter for basically all of this race.
Well, he's not behind him for lack of effort. He has made several stabs at him, but as hard as he tries, he cannot close the deal. Let's go back to P10 in the prototypes.
Actually, Soup, you know what? There's a battle over 6th. I think Youngbluth trying to make a race out of it there on John Keefe.
He's got a chance. He's got the gap under a second now. Here he comes. Oh, has a good run through the S curve. It's now down to under half a second. They'll have the GTO of Franco Scurry to deal with. Sean, that was a good pickup because Youngbluth is coming. Oh, and I think he might have been held up. Keith might have been held up a little bit behind Scurry. Out of 10. They head down the front of the supermarket. Youngbluth tucks in behind Scurry to get as much toe as he can. They go through the 90 corner. 4.5 minutes of racing to go. We'll see if this one can get done. Coming up behind Cummins. Cummins does a good job of getting out of the way in the 26 machine. And Keefe and Youngbluth cross the start-finish line to start another lap.
Soup, Keefe, boy, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of pressure here. And Youngbluth is primed to take this position away. Keefe got to stay solid here and just not crack.
That's when I feel the most pressure. It's not being in a battle, but when I've watched a guy slowly reel me in, and now I know he's behind me, and there's only 3 minutes left of racing. I don't want to give up this spot. We'll stay on it. They work behind Muia. Oh, Keefe gets checked up. They're going to have to go around the top side. But so does Youngbluth. Youngbluth got pinned in, couldn't take a wide angle into that corner, might have lost a little bit of time. We can stay on this one. I can report that Laughter. That's happening. That's not there yet. We're going to have to check it. We got to go back in on it. Ruola's got it down to a car length. Let's see what he can do down the front straight.
Keep teasing you, Sue.
He gets a pretty good run. 2 car lengths. 1 car length. He'll make a little faux attempt in there if there's too far back to do anything.
I wonder if they have faux on the menu here at Motegi. Sorry.
Okay, man. It's a long day. You have 2 more races to do. Save some of those till later. Only 1 more, okay.
Only 1, yes.
4 races on the docket here for GSRC on this Saturday. Hope you're enjoying your weekend.
Yeah, Laughter in control of his machine, Soup, and boy, I'll tell you what, up 3 spots into 3rd, got himself on the podium. The Ruola has continued to apply the pressure, but it has not done anything here to shake Ben. Ben's, like I said, he's been solid. He got another Nissan coming through. Luis Emerton now catching him.
Hey.
Now they're side by side.
Another failed attempt. He clears him. Look at the run, though, that Ruola has. Right behind him. He can get a good drive off of 10 this time, but he can't get the power down.
He spun him. He did. He spun the tires coming off the exit. And you can see how it cost him there, Soup. He's not able to close. I think this is going to be it.
Richie got the white flag. He is 5.5 seconds ahead of Jamie Hall as he works his way through 5, goes beneath the overpass down into 6th. 50 seconds left of racing. There might be one more to go. We'll keep one eye on him just in case he sees the checkered flag this time around. We'll keep another eye on Laughter. And you know, we talked about the battle. Let's see what we're going to get here as Laughter and Ruola. They're in that battle. But remember, Sean, we talked about Keith and Youngbluth. Well, they just went through. So that's still heating up. Richie coming through the 90 corner now. 13 seconds of racing to go. I think he's going to see the checker flag here. Well, we've seen it before. We've seen it again. Out of victory corner. Checker flag waves. Driving beneath the gingham flag. Keith Ritchie picks up round number 7 in the Nissans. Where is... Oh, it won't be long. This is going to be over. Hagner putting on a show.
He's waving his tail, buddy. He's waving at you, Soup.
Ah, gotta love it. Yoni Hagner picks up the win. Trengaray's going to get second, so let's drop back to... Let's go to Youngbluth. I think he's going to get there first. This is Youngbluth and Keith. Not enough time yet, I don't think, for Youngbluth to get there. He's right behind him, Soup. Don't count me out yet. But he runs out of tarmac. Keith is going to get that spot. Let's go back to Laughter and Ruola.
And Laughter's going to keep Ruola in the mirror and pull this off. Ben Laughter with a podium finish. Ruola couldn't do it, Soup. He tried and he tried and he tried, but Ben Laughter victorious there to get on the podium. What a battle those two had during the complete length of this race.
Trengaray gets second in the GTOs. Hall and Lepisto come home second and third in the Nissans. All right, the racing is over here in Japan, but our broadcast is far from done. For GSRC, we're going to take a short break, but we'll come back to run down the entire finishing order of the race you just saw, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
They say it's always darkest before the dawn. And in the world of motorsports, those words ring especially true. As is tradition, Daytona greets us as we emerge from our winter hibernation. But this year, we awaken 30 years in the past. This time we celebrate a bygone era as drivers take to the unrefined beasts that are the Audi Quattro and Nissan GTP. A new season is about to dawn. The darkness about to fade. The Major Series and Late Apex Apparel proudly bring you the 2018 Classic Daytona 2.4, an endurance race from the ages, for the ages. Coming to you live, iRacing Live, on February 4th, 2018.
Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Kamel GT Championship. Round 7 from Motegi is in the books. Let's give you the finishing order right now. In the GTPs, the Nissans, it was no surprise to see Keith Ritchie wire to wire it ahead of Jamie Hall and Antti Lepisto. 4th and 5th go to Nicholas Schneider and Luis Emerton. John Keefe, Fabian Lungbuth had a great battle for 6. Keefe gets the best of Youngbluth. Matthias Barbera and John Hill go behind them. Martin Krajcik had trouble in 10th position, was never able to get to Hill. Larry Krupp and Jeffrey Oakley is the driver who finishes in the 12 spot, last of the group. Sean?
Okay, Joni Hagner gets another one here on a Saturday. The Finn with a big run today. He finishes first. Ove Trengrade with a great drive today, picking up a couple of spots and getting himself there in second. Ben Laughter finishes on the podium, keeps Feli Ruola in the mirror for the entire race. Ruola made a couple of bold attempts, but none of them paid off. He'll finish 4th. Giuseppe Muia, welcome to the series, my friend. 5th place finish for him today. Great run. Hideki Koivitso, 6th place for him. And Bronislav Romanek, 7th. Mika Kivapuro will finish 8th. 9th, going to go to Tony Dibden. Ralph Cummins in 10th. The last 2 cars in class, Franco Scurry and Elliot Mimi, early casualties. Arto Iamaki, tough trouble for him. 13th overall and 14th for Philip in and around the lake. And he's probably looking for the bomb at the bottom of that lake.
Like those sound effects we have now on GSRC when we ever announce somebody who has a blown engine. All right, spare no expense here. Let's go ahead and talk to the driver who came in first in the GTOs. And it is Joni Hagner. Joni, congratulations on another win. Always fun to watch you finish up those final corners. Thank you for that. And do we have no mic from? We want to try him one more there. Do we have him yet? Mr. Hagner?
He's working on it. He's been with us before. I think he'll find it here in just a second.
Well, what we'll do, let's leave him in here. We'll just give him a cup of coffee while he figures out what's going on. Let's bring in the guy who had a mirror full of Ruola, and this is Ben Laughter. My gosh, that was a hard-fought 3rd place, Ben.
Hey, you guys. Yeah, I want to get on a plane to Finland right now and go buy Ruola just a ton of beers because that was some good fun.
He made stab after stab after stab. Couldn't get you. And how about the prototype traffic? I thought they did a pretty good job of getting through.
Yeah, there are some hairy moments, as there often are, right? There were a couple of late dives, a couple of concerning moves, but mostly this was a surprisingly great race for what's really kind of a mediocre track. I had a blast. Some real fun.
I think they knew what they were getting into as they come up around you. I think a lot of the guys didn't want to, if they were able to get Ruola, I think a lot of them said, boy, I really want to get Laughter as well so I don't sit in the middle and break it up. A couple scary spots. How does the track change over just a short 40 minutes? Does it change much?
I don't know if it's the track changing, but I'll tell you the car does. This car, it seems like after 3 laps at this track, the tires just fall off of it and you're running on steel rims, and it's just got zero grip going into those heavy braking zones a lot of times. So it has more to do with adjusting your brake bias, your ARBs, and your lines throughout the race.
On iRacing, is the Audi your car of choice? What's your favorite vehicle?
Oh, do they have other cars?
Okay.
Great answer.
That's a good answer. And it's fun to watch you race it. It's fun to watch the car on the track. Good luck the rest of the season.
You bet, guys. Thanks again for the great work.
Ben Laughter. That's a good answer to that one, huh? All right. Do you want to try Joni one more time, Sean? I'll let you take a stab at him.
Joni, have you got us, buddy? All right.
Not today, so we'll find... Well, what he was going to say was, yes, I finished 19 seconds ahead of the competition, and it was pretty much a basic race for me. Thank you, Joni. We'll catch you next time. Who we got?
Well, let's talk to John Keefe because he had a good battle with Youngblood there in the closing segment of the race. A little bit of fun out there for you, huh, John?
Yeah, the entire race was fun, actually. I don't know how much of the mid-pack stuff you guys had, but we were a 5 or 6 car train up until I think Martin and a couple other guys came together with an Audi, unfortunately. But from that point forward, it was me and Fabian and Coach Emerson Fittipaldi. It was beautiful. That was probably the funnest race I've ever done here.
Yeah, you know what? It's great because we had the exact same kind of battle over in the GTOs between Laughter and Ruola, and those two put in a lot of work, and you guys did too. Just a really fun race to watch there. I'll tell you what, this is an interesting track. I know it's a lot about the braking zones here, but what's the most difficult part of this track for you?
Putting power down, like without a doubt. There are corner exits where you just have to plant your foot and trust that the back end is going to do what you want it to do. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. It's a very fine edge, especially with the Nissan.
Sean, it's Soup here. All season long during the broadcast, we've seen the Nissans blow up engines. During practice, I don't think you've lost one this season, but during practice, have you found that you can make a mistake and blow one?
To be honest, the first couple seasons of Kamel, I used to blow engines at least 2 or 3 times a season. I then started heel towing and using the clutch on downshifts, and not only does that help me recover a half spin, but it also it just completely depletes the possibility of popping one. I know a lot of guys are, 2-footers, and when you rapidly downshift the Nissan, it almost inevitable, unless you're letting, the clutch out really nice and smooth. It's actually pretty easy to pop one if you do downshift too quickly. So
thanks. That helps a lot. That explains it to me, Sean.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, thanks for being here on another Saturday with the Global Sim Racing channel and the Kamel GT series. You guys always give us a fun one, and we'll see you next week, my friend. Absolutely. And thank you guys for doing these. All right, Soup. That was John Keefe. And I'll tell you what, both classes today, a little something interesting to watch in each.
Yeah, and I learned a little bit there from talking to John, which is something we'd like to not only entertain, but we'd like to also educate as well. Hey, how about we thank everybody at the Kamel GT community, especially Rob Olenek, who helps put this on. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast, and the original music that gives every GSRC broadcast that unique flavor and feel. Last thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for having contact them. When you hear that music, you're listening and watching GSRC. Sean?
Soup, the Kamel series returns in 1 week, Saturday, February the 3rd. They go to Summit Point. Participation should be high there. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming broadcasts, so check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. We'd love to have you aboard. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. And find us on social media, Twitter at GSR Channel, and Facebook. Check us out. Just type in Global Sim Racing Channel, and you'll be there.
Finally, on behalf of my booth mate, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman, our camera artist, Dougie Beard, and the man I'm subbing for today, Joe Peak, and friends and fans of Joe Peak, don't worry, he'll be back next week. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storm at the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.